any more questions or topics to submit to Jill over there, then you're in the running for the bottle of wine. So I'd like Ellen Shaw from Telespree to come up.
Can you hear me? Hi. Yes, can you hear me? Yeah. Okay, so I promised I'm the last speaker, so I'm sure everybody's happy about that. And I have a slightly different take. Our company focuses a little bit on a different area. We are focused on on-device self-service. So what does it take to get a device on the network, get an account provision, set up in a billing system with the carrier and the end user actually working the device? The focus on this is really cost reductions for the carriers, as well as really making a very nice experience for the end user. I don't know if any of you have had the call center lately, or had this go through an IVR that is always kind of a waste of time for everybody. It's very costly. We've actually been deployed with 12 carriers. We've had over 9 million transactions. That's sort of how we monitor ourselves, where an end user actually uses our device to manage their account and get online. And I'll go through a little bit of this, but we have a broad range of applications that deal with enrollment, how do you manage an account after it's up and running, and then how do you do some marketing and promotional things with that. And we deal with all types of wireless devices, whether it's a netbook, a handset, a smartphone, whatever. Really basic. What are we addressing? The carrier spent 8% on customer care, on customer service. That's a huge number, 8% of ARPU. Additionally, and this is pretty self-evident, the wireless space is becoming incredibly competitive and pricing is becoming commoditized. So how does the carrier itself retain their customers and not have churn, which is really expensive? So really, there's a tool that has not been utilized to the full extent, and that's the device itself. It's a 24/7 way to reach your end user by the carrier and the distribution channels to cut costs and also to make really sticky, nice applications. In terms of the customer care evolution, it's pretty much these 4 items have been around. You have the retail stores, you have the call centers. Again, I can't stress how much money is spent on call centers. There's IVRs, which are pretty universally hated by everyone. And then, of course, there's the web that people use and people like. In the last couple of years, we've been advocating that the wireless device itself, again, whatever that device might be, is a great channel also to offload a lot of the care and also a much more effective way to reach your end user. So our solution, our platform itself is a network-based platform, and that allows the carrier to add applications as they grow over time, and also to deliver the same types of applications to whatever that wireless device might be, whether it's a handset, smartphone, netbook, et cetera, et cetera. So they don't have to do specific IT integration and spend an awful lot of time coming up with these applications. We group these, and I know you can't possibly see this in the back, but we group the applications into basically 3 categories. One is service enrollment and programming. And again, what does it take? I know no one really thinks about it this much, but what does it take to get a device onto a carrier's network? You have to actually set up a billing record. That device has to be provisioned and also potentially programmed to match what that end user has, and then the end user actually has to use the device. All that stuff actually is really kind of complicated. It takes a lot of steps generally. So we offer a lot of applications like that. So that if you're selling a device at Walmart, the person can buy it at Walmart, take it home, activate on that device, not call anybody, and instantaneously using it. The other aspect, in the second category there, is what does an end user do after the account's set up? Well, okay, they call the wireless carriers a lot for really basic things. What is my status? I want to buy a new feature. When do I have to pay? Probably not this room so much, but those are huge call drivers. Now, that can very readily be handled on the device, and you don't have to call anybody. And then thirdly, the wireless carrier has all the CPNI information on the end user. And they also deal with a lot of distribution partners. How do you take that information and then give the end user a better and richer experience? How do you give them promotions and offers that really make sense to them versus just universally blasting them? So these, again, you won't be able to see these slides in the back, but they're 2 examples of what are basic activation and enrollment in self-care. On the left side of chart, basically the person is just activating their handset and they go through a very short sequence where they're putting in their zip code, they're doing their plan selection, and they're paying, and it's all done usually within 3 minutes. Very, very, very nice experience for the end user. The example on the right is with an account summary balance check. What do you do after the fact? Again, people do this, and it's a huge number to the carrier, and it's also very convenient for the end user to be able to status check on their handset what's going on. Now, so the next step of how to use the device and sort of reach your customer is some of the marketing and loyalty programs. This application that I know you can't see is deployed by a customer of ours. They distribute through a very large convenience food store in the United States. They target female head of households. So a lot of people buy their wireless phone there. And so when they go through the activation sequence, it asks them to put in their frequent shopper number for the store when they sign up. So they put that in, and then what happens is as they buy things in the store, they get credit for the wireless minutes. So it's a very, very sticky application, both for the distribution channel as well as for the carrier. And then what's really nice is since the distribution channel knows what this end user likes to purchase, and in this case this is someone who has a little baby, they get on their self-care when they're checking their account status, they get the weekly promo that says, hey, come in for the diaper promotion. So really, really successful application that ties in all the back-end information on the end user, you get it out to the subscriber on the device, and everybody benefits from it. This application, which I know you can't see also, a lot of the cable companies are getting into the wireless business. And in this case, they're going through a sequence where they're asking information on activation about who are you, how old are you, what do you like to watch? I like to watch reality TV. Okay, I have a special offer. If you buy a new feature, you'll get 1 month of free on-demand movies. So I buy that, and that's set up. And this is all happening on my device when it pops up. And then, when I check my account status, or I've gotten used to looking at my device just to see what's going on, I get a weekly special that has a TV promotion on it. So you ask, why does anybody care, besides that some of these are kind of nice applications? The ramifications on cost and revenue are huge because you're dealing with huge subscriber bases. On the left side, on the pie charts, the pie chart is really just showing what the care budget is for a carrier with about 6 million subscribers. The large red wedge is talking about how much money they spend on the call center. After they implemented the on-device self-service, a lot of people migrated to that. It's much more cost-effective. They had approximately an 18% cost reduction on their budget, and that took them from 137 million in annual cost to 1 million in 12, which is a huge reduction. On the right side, basically talking about what kind of revenue acceleration is. Because the application is available to the end user to buy it sooner, they can basically they buy it sooner, and they probably buy it more often. And we're seeing a huge examples of that when it's right there, they actually do it. So just to give an idea, you have 1 million subs, a 10% increased take rate, a 1-year tenure, and an ARPU of $15 a month. That's worth $18 million to the carrier, and you can just multiply that out by feature types of subscribers. So I know everybody wants their wine. I'm just going to end with a sentence from Mark Lowenstein. He's very well known. He's a consultant in the wireless industry. His company's managing director of mobile ecosystems, and he actually wrote a white paper on this space, and I'll just read it because I think it sums it up very nicely. Device-based